Hello, and welcome to the Y Employment Access Center of the National Capital Region's How to Use Social Media in Your Job Search workshop. Thank you for joining us today. For today's workshop, you will need a pen or pencil and some paper for notes and for doing an activity later on in the workshop. If you have not done so already, please pause the video and collect these items. This workshop was created for the Y Employment Access Centers of the National Capital Region. The YMCA-YWCA is a charitable, community-based association dedicated to improving the quality of life of children, youth, adults, and families through programs that build spirit, mind, and body. The National Capital Region, YMCA-YWCA, provides opportunities for personal growth and character development by providing unique and contemporary programs like our employment programs for everyone regardless of race, religion, creed, ability, or economic circumstance. If you have any questions about this workshop, please speak to one of our staff. We will be happy to assist you. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you of the services that are available through the Y Employment Access Centers in the Ottawa area. Through our two resource centers, you can access computers and job search libraries, one-on-one assistance with resume and cover letter writing, as well as mock interviews. You can attend a variety of employment-related workshops and gain access to one of our dedicated employment consultants who can support you one-on-one with your job search. If you have not already done so, speak to one of our Resource Center advisors today about how we can support you. Today we will learn strategies to use social media for your job search. By the end of this workshop, you will be able to define social media and understand how it is a useful tool in your job search, identify the connection between social media and professional networking, understand how and why to curate and control your online presence, be able to set up and manage your LinkedIn profile. Social media are websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. Social media is the collective of online communication channels dedicated to community-based input, interaction, content sharing, and collaboration. Can you think of the following? What do you think of when you think of social media? How are you using social media in your daily life? Are you currently using any social media as part of your job search? What are the social media platforms that you are using? This workshop will go into some tips on how you can use social media to help you with your job search. Social media has become a fast and inexpensive way for potential employers to do background checks on potential employees. Employers use social media, such as LinkedIn, to find qualified applicants rather than going through the costly process of posting a job. They also use social media to do background checks on potential employees to verify facts. Employers will often do this kind of check before even inviting an applicant for an interview. Employers use social media to verify facts on resumes, check out knowledge and attitudes shared publicly, and evaluate communication skills. They use it to determine fit within the organization. Moving forward, we're going to discuss how you should be using social media. Have you ever tried Googling yourself to see what you can find? A potential employer might do just that. Type your name into a search engine. You need to know what they are going to find and control the content. You should maintain a professional presence online. That means that you should be using your social media to further your career, not just for keeping in touch with friends and following your favorite celebrities. Be aware of how your online activity is tracked and perceived. You need to take action of your social media presence. If you don't like what you find, try to have it removed. If that doesn't work, create new content to move the negative results further down the page. Control your privacy settings. Just because you are online doesn't mean you have to share all of your content with everyone. Share your profile pic and basic information, but not the post about the adorable thing your 2-year-old did last night. Clean up your friends list. You don't have to connect with everyone in your life. For example, you may want to use Facebook to maintain relationships with your friend from high school and maintain Twitter as your grown-up account. Don't let bad contacts fill your page with content that will reflect badly on you professionally. You should be using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn to create and promote your personal brand to optimize your job search. Your personal brand is how you appear to the world, and it is your online reputation. It stands to reason that a strong brand makes you more memorable and therefore more interesting. We've talked about personal brand in reference to job applications and resumes, and it's the same with social media. Create something that is interesting and stands out from other applicants, while making sure that all the important information is present. You want to make sure you are sending a consistent message. Make sure your brand reflects the work you are currently looking for. If an employer searches for you because you've applied for an administrative position at their company, make sure your LinkedIn profile doesn't indicate that you are a civil engineer. This is not consistent. Your social media should reflect your current job search. Professional websites, blogs, portfolios can also be useful in promoting your personal brand. An online presence is especially important if you are looking for work in communication, advertising, marketing, sales, or creative fields including photographers, graphic designers, or architects. If you have the rights to a piece of work, something that you created, include it in your online portfolio. Create a professional website where you have examples of your work. Use a professional website to create an online resume with images and even references. There are a lot of options out there for creating a professional website. You can even set up a Facebook business page if that's easier for you. WordPress, Medium, Drupal, Tumblr, Wix.com are all examples of pretty user-friendly websites that will host your blog or professional website for minimal cost. All of these provide lots of free templates and are pretty easy to set up and use. In addition to using social media to promote your personal brand, you should be using social media as part of your professional networking strategy as well. For example, LinkedIn or Charity Village. LinkedIn allows you to network with people online. You can use it to build your professional network and maintain relationships and build new ones. Charity Village is an example of a sector-specific website that not only allows you to job search, but also build a personal profile and share your resume and other professional information with other professionals in the charitable sector. There are lots of apps for managing your network connections. Free apps like Camcard, Intro, and Zap, an auto-developed app, allow you to store and organize your connections. You should use social media and professional networking sites because there are 50,000 jobs posted on LinkedIn's database. Recruiters use LinkedIn to find potential candidates. Social media is a great way of managing relationships you've made through networking. And as you should know, networking is one of the most important things you can do as a job seeker. As a job seeker, it is important to curate your online presence and maintain your personal brand. You need to have an online presence, but you need to control your online visibility. Don't be invisible. Not having an online presence can be as damaging as having a negative one. This doesn't mean that you can't post personal information on social media, like family pictures or your weekend plans. It just means that you should think about what content you share. Don't share inappropriate content and don't overshare. Provide intimate details. Here are a few tips on how to be successful online. Follow companies in your sector that are of interest. Like their posts and make professional comments. Keep your content and comments professional. Sign up for company newsletters and alerts. Pay attention to Facebook business pages. Give recommendations, provide evaluations, give endorsements. Not only will doing these things increase your online presence and demonstrate to a potential employer that you are interested in what is happening in their industry, it will also provide you with research opportunities. You should already be reading company websites and keeping up with sector developments as part of your job search strategy and when you prepare for interviews. Successful use of social media will make this easier. The information will come to you. You won't have to go looking for it. Use the 411 rule to maintain and promote your personal brand online. 4 is the number of original posts or new content to aim for in a week. 1 is the allowable number of shameless promotions. 1 is the number of times you should share someone else's content. Maintaining this ratio will help you grow your online presence and image. This is especially important if you work in a field where you will need to tap into your network for your work, or if you work in communication, marketing, or you're a writer. This is also the basic technique for building online credibility. Now you want to maintain the brand that you have created. Does your branding fit with your target sector? Now go back to the how you should be using social media slide. Make sure you keep track of what you are doing online. Occasionally go back and check in on what your social media accounts look like and do an audit. Set a reminder in your calendar and Google yourself and continually see your online presence. Google Alerts, Online ID Calculator, and Clout are all tools you can use to do this. Google Alert allows you to monitor where your name comes up in searches. Online ID Calculator allows you to assess consistency in your brand. Clout allows you to access social influence online. Let's take a tour of a LinkedIn sample profile using Ellie Employable's profile. The first part of LinkedIn you want to change to make yourself stand out is the headline or tagline. LinkedIn will default to your current or most recent position as your tagline. Don't settle for the default. Personalize it and make it work for you. Number 1. Explain your experience and highlight specific accomplishments. Make it sector specific. If you've been working in sales, include your industry. Same goes for administration. Number 2. Take every advantage to optimize your use of keywords. Just like in your resume, the more often keywords turn up in your profile, the better. It just increases your chances of being found by a recruiter. Number 3. If your job title at your last job didn't reflect your actual tasks, change the title. If your title was receptionist, but what you actually did was act as an executive assistant, don't settle. The point you want to customize is your profile picture. Try to make your headshot personable, as research shows that headshots where the person is making eye contact and smiling are more effective and will generate more traffic. You will want your picture to be how you look today and not what you did 10 years ago. Here are a few other tips. Limit background unless it is specifically related to your profession. Same goes for the actual background picture. Make sure it doesn't distract from the profile picture and it is in line with your brand and sector if possible. Don't use a selfie, webcam photo, or props. It always comes across as unprofessional and worse, can be seen as strange in the case of props. The next part of your profile to customize is your summary. This section is LinkedIn's version of the 30-second pitch. It is essential that your summary be well written if you want people to pay attention. Having a summary makes your profile way more likely to be viewed by a recruiter or potential employers. When writing your summary, you can use a conversational tone. Your summary should say something about you. Give it personality. You should explain what you have to offer and how that translates into value for the employer. Next, you want to optimize your work experience on your LinkedIn profile. Increasing your use of keywords will increase the likelihood that your profile will show up in search results when an employer or recruiter is looking for candidates. This is just like tailoring your resume to improve your chances of your resume making it through an applicant tracking system. Check the job posting and take a look at what keywords other people working in your industry are using in their profiles. You can use a keyword density analyzer to determine keywords as well. You also want to highlight accomplishments and use figures and data to demonstrate your values as an employee. On your LinkedIn profile, you can also get managers, supervisors, and coworkers to endorse your skills. This goes a long way with the use of keywords. You want to identify which skills are most valued by employers in your sector. Use the skills section to set you apart from the crowd. Don't be afraid to ask your network to endorse your skills. Remember, LinkedIn is all about networking. It should be a two-way street. You have to give endorsements to others in order to receive endorsements from others in your network. You should also add in your education and training on your LinkedIn as well. But remember not to let your education and training date you. Keep only your up-to-date training and certifications on your profile. Don't include information that is no longer valid or relevant. So if industry standards have changed, make sure your certification and training reflects that. And it is also not necessary to include college or university graduation dates, as sometimes it's best not to share all the information. It's not that you should be dishonest, but sometimes it's best to withhold some information. For example, if you graduated 30 years ago, it might be better not to include these dates. Same goes for new grads. Be honest about your experience, but hold a little bit back. On LinkedIn, you want to join relevant groups. Make LinkedIn work for you by following industry leaders, the movers and shakers. Information will come to you. You won't have to go out looking. You can join groups like professional organizations, industry groups, and alumni groups, and you can follow industry leaders and companies that you are interested in working for. This will also give you lots of options for sharing and liking, as this demonstrates to an employer that you will support what they stand for and also helps you to build your personal brand. One of the last things you want to make sure to do is that you want to make your profile public. If you want to be found by a potential employer, you have to make sure that your profile is made public. You can do this by adjusting your privacy settings when needed. With a public profile, new connections, employers, and recruiters can view your profile. You can also familiarize yourself with the LinkedIn privacy settings and change them depending on your activity. If you are currently employed but are still looking for new opportunities, adjust your settings so that your current employer can't see that you are looking. If you are using LinkedIn to do research on potential contact or someone who might be interviewing you, make sure that you've adjusted your privacy settings so that they can't see that you've viewed their profile. Here are some final thoughts on LinkedIn etiquette. Remember, don't treat it like Facebook. LinkedIn is not the place for baby pictures or political rants. LinkedIn is a professional platform. Don't do things that will make you seem unprofessional. Connect with people online within 24 hours of face-to-face meetings. Make it personal. Always write a message when sending a connection request. In networking, if you do things for others, eventually it will come back to you. Keep this in mind on LinkedIn too. Try to find common ground with each new contact, and find social connectors. Take a step further, find common business ground, business connectors. Don't be afraid to ask a connection to make an introduction to someone you want to connect with also. If you choose to reach out to a second level connection, make sure you do your research and personalize the connection request. Here are some final tips for LinkedIn. Be memorable in a positive way. Be interesting and interested. Make connections and find business connectors. Expand your network and your opportunities, and gather information. Here are some newer features on LinkedIn for job seekers. There is a Jobs tab. This allows you to set preferences in jobs to let recruiters know that you are looking for opportunities. And don't worry, LinkedIn has added a feature that will prevent your employer and recruiters from your company from tracking this. Half applying to jobs. It's useful to let employers know you're interested, even if you're not qualified for this specific position. You don't have to go through the entire process of applying to the job for the company to know you're interested. Here are 8 tips for maintaining your personal brand. Remember that once you post something online, it becomes public information and it is no longer under your control. Number 2, consider the long. Be strategic about what you share with the world. Number 3, think before you post. Today's rant or practical joke may come back to haunt you. Number 4, think before you post. We really want you to understand how important this is, so we made sure to put it on a second time. Your private video, photo, or Snapchat may go public. Number 5, regularly review your contacts, friends, and followers. They may not be helping your online image. Number 6, service providers often change the terms. Make sure you understand your privacy settings and terms of service. Number 7, monitor your name online. Google yourself and set alerts to avoid surprises. Number 8, protect your online reputation and create your personal brand. Your future will thank you. Remember, don't post anything online that you wouldn't share with your grandmother. So, what should you be doing next? Now it's time to prepare for next steps. We have some other great workshops that can help you continue on your path to employment. For example, job search strategies to help you learn techniques for tapping into the hidden job market. Networking for your job search, that you can continue to expand your horizons for job search and increase your likelihood of getting that job interview. Stay employed. Secrets of the successful worker. Learn the skills that today's employers are looking for. Don't forget to talk to your EC or an RCA about how to build on the social media skills you have acquired today. You can also use the Resource Center during your job search, where you have access to staff who can help with advice as you work through the next steps. Thank you once again for listening. Have a great day.